Varus minor, zippihumeral.
Zippihumeral, good.
I like that one.
Serratus ventralis, remember that's part of the muscular sling.
We didn't get into it.
Well, I say it right here,
Yeah,
so you
that's
can
it.
clean it off a little bit more so that you can see the actual like serrated knife quality. But remember, that's the one that goes from the scapula to the ribs.
And it's this red part right here?
Yep, exactly. You'll see
What
the
is it?
serrated steak knife. It's this guy.
Okay.
You can tell because it's holding the scapula on.
Okay.
Okay. The anterior scalenes, also known as the scalenus, that's part of this guy, so you can clean those up. External and internal intercostals, I usually get at back in here. You can feel the ribs there. The external and internal intercostals just go from one rib to the next.
They're in
Okay.
between the ribs?
Yep, so external intercostals have muscle fibers that go like this, and internal intercostals have muscle fibers that go like that.
So they kind of look like they're going up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you should be able to, I mean, it's very thin, but you should be able to pick away and get a little window and flip back your external intercostal and see the internal intercostal muscle fibers running perpendicular.
Okay.
Okay? Let's see. Your shoulder, I think you guys were pretty thorough. Let's see. Thoracic trapezius,
Yes.
cervical trapezius, scapulodeltoid, acromiodeltoid, omotransversarius, clitocervical, clitobrachial. Let's see, you got your supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres major, rhomboids, which is Miss Dorsey, obviously. Long head of the triceps, lateral head of the triceps. Medial head of the triceps, I could either get at from the medial side, or I could cut, bisect, and reflect the lateral head of the triceps, and the medial head is right underneath. So if you see a pin under the lateral head of the triceps, it's going to be the medial head. So the brachialis is one that I feel like a lot of people have not gotten yet. And you can tell which one it is because remember this wimpy muscle, the brachioradial, that you guys have so nicely kept intact? The brachioradial originates from between the lateral head of the triceps and the brachialis. So the brachialis is right underneath. This brachioradial is lying on top of the brachialis. Okay, so you might want to clean that up just a little bit more so you can
Wait,
tell
what
it
is lying on top?
You can watch the video.
Yeah.
Will you share the video, please? Okay, just for the effort of time. Okay, so this is one of the nicest ones, the extensor. Nope, stops here.
Oh, extensor ulnaris?
Yep, carpio ulnaris. Yep. So, you guys, maybe just a little bit cleaner. I mean, how would you feel if I pinned right here? Would you feel comfortable knowing where are those tendons? Would you be able?
Communis.
I know that, and you know that on your cat. But do you think that other people would feel comfortable?
Yeah, What do you want because you us to can clean follow up
Oh,
with? this?
Yeah, so just follow a little bit more. Like if you can, I know I said try not to remove all of your extensor retinaculum, but if you get underneath, if you get underneath these tendons here, there we go. And then, so you might be able to clean up just a little bit more so that you can be just absolutely
follow
sure.
it.
Yeah. I mean, once you get to a cat, you want to be able to say, oh, clearly that tendon is stopping there, and that is what that muscle is. You know what I mean? Don't want any tricks. So same thing with that, the flexor side too.
Clean it up a little bit more.
Maybe just a little bit more. One of the main ones too is the abductor pollicis, because once you see that one, remember that one is the one. Well, you can see it here too. Yep. So abductor pollicis is the one. That's a nice one too because the muscle fibers are going a different way, right? It's not instead of all of the same long muscles. It's this one going over to the thumb. And those extensor carpi radialis tendons run deep to the abductor pollicis. Cool? So I think that's the forearm and the shoulders. Did you guys get your obliques?
No, we haven't started on that.
Caitlin has really great obliques.
Okay.
So have her show you those. If I were to pin the obliques, I'd probably do it on Caitlin's cat for the record. So, Caitlin, this is Liz.
Okay.
She's gonna want to see your obliques at some point. Okay.
I'm eating street food.
Big one. Do you remember?
I remember
That's
the
okay.
femoralis.
Biceps femoris. Yep. And you guys have a very nice tensor fascia lata. Also, this is the caudofemoral. Yep. Caudal vertebrae to the femur. Nice sciatic. Okay, so right here is where I see that vastus lateralis, which is part of the quads. The other parts of the quads are the vastus medialis, the rectus femoris. The only way you can see the vastus intermedius is if you bisect and reflect the rectus femoris. The vastus intermedius is underneath. Okay, on the medial side, sorry, here is sartorius and gracilis. Okay, the pectineus is this darker muscle. It is just behind where the femoral artery and vein are. Okay, so that's a
Vampire's
nice,
life.
it's like a nice landmark, right? Okay.
Abductor.
Adductor femoris, because it's adding the leg to the body.
Okay.
Semimembranosus, semitendinosus, the way I remember that is T comes after M. Gastrocnemius. And if I pin anything in between the two heads of the gastrocnemius, remember the gastrocnemius is a pinnate muscle. Okay, just kind of trying to do the lecture and lab thing here. So in between the two heads of the gastrocnemius, your book calls it the plantaris. Okay, it's also known as the flexor digitorum superficialis. Underneath the gastrocnemius, but also inserting on the calcaneal tendon, is the soleus. So once you guys isolate that, you can cut and reflect at the calcaneal tendon. So what's going to peel up is the gastrocnemius, the plantaris, and the soleus. And just for the record, the plantaris, actually, the tendon runs along with the calcaneus, or the calcaneal tendon, but it continues to the foot. But that's fine. That's not a big deal. Okay. On the front of the shank, you have two big muscles, the tibialis cranialis, and then closely associated with it, and you'll have to kind of clean that up, but just right underneath is the extensor digitorum longus. And then on the lateral side is the peroneus, so you guys will be able to clean that up. And then all the flexors I try to get at the medial side. So this is a nice one, popliteus. I like it because it is distinct from all the other ones. Instead of running long way, it's kind of like that abductor pollicis, right? Not similar in function, but in the sense that its muscle fibers run a different direction. And that the popliteus inserts, instead of having a tendon, it inserts muscularly on the tibia right there. And then you have a few flexors on the back side, but I'm just going to get you started and show you one that should help as a landmark. Oh, sorry. This, I'm showing you the trickiest one. I think you should be able to figure out the rest after you get this landmark. This guy with the very, very long tendon is the tibialis caudalis. Okay? So I think we covered all of those. I didn't go through every single one of those, but I think with that video and your books, you should be able to go from there.
Okay.
I know it's a lot of memorization, but I wanted to make sure that you guys at least had a good start so that you have some time to study.